So you want to take the TOEFL IBT. Don't worry, because in this video you will learn everything that is necessary for you to get a high score on the TOEFL. I will also give you access to the best and most complete TOEFL course for free here on YouTube, so just stay tuned. Before getting on with the course, just make sure you subscribe to the channel and you click on the notification bell so you can receive our latest videos, our latest courses. Also, don't forget to request your free ebook with 100 TOEFL exercises. Just go to the description below and follow the instructions. Before starting, it's important for you to know that this course is made in such a way that you will learn better if you watch it from beginning to end. Okay, don't skip around. So, let's start. First of all, we're going to talk about the structure of the TOEFL, which has changed recently. So this one's the current structure for 2024. Okay, so here we're going to start with the structure for the TOEFL exam. Okay, let's first go over the duration. How long does it take to finish the exam? So the TOEFL takes only 2 hours to complete. This has recently changed this year, actually, because it used to take much longer, almost 3 hours. So now the exam is way shorter and more precise. Okay, so you're only going to take it in one sitting. So that's also a big difference with the IELTS. Because of the IELTS, you take 3 sections on one sitting and then you take the speaking section at a different time. With the TOEFL, you take everything in only one single sitting, 2 hours, and then you're done. Well, what about the sections? The sections have always been 4. 4 sections: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So there you have 4 sections, which is pretty common for any of the exams for English sufficiency. Okay, and any exam basically has these 4 sections. Now, what about the scores? Let's talk a little bit about the scores. Scores go from 0 to 120. In that sense, the TOEFL hasn't changed in a long time. 120 meaning a perfect score. Very few people get it. Actually, very few people get over 110, which means you have an advanced English. Most of the graduate schools will accept an 85 or 90. That's the minimum requirement, but you always got to check with the university, with the program you want to apply to. It's very important that before starting with your preparation, you already know what score you need. It's very different to prepare for an 80 than preparing, for example, for a 100. Okay, those are 2 completely different preparations. So what I recommend you do is this. Get on the phone and call the admissions office from the university you're planning to apply to, or just Google it to see what is the recommended TOEFL score for the program you want. For example, if you want to do an MBA, which is a little bit more demanding, let's say, the top schools will usually ask you for at least 100. Now, each individual section, each of the 4 sections, will contribute up to 30 points to the total score. So they basically have the same weight. It's 25% each section. There are 2 ways you can take the TOEFL IBT. The first way is to take it at a testing center. That was the most conventional way up to 3 years ago before the lockdowns. The second way is the TOEFL Home Edition, in which you basically take it at home. Okay, both are great, both are good, but depending on your taste, one will be better than the other. I almost always recommend that my students take that test at home. Okay, you'll find out why later on in the preparation if you follow our course. And what about the results? When are you going to be able to see and send your results? It takes up to 6 days for you to see your results, and then actually it takes up to 7 days to have it in PDF so you can send it. This time, of course, is an approximate. Basically, it's a maximum. So most of the time, they will give you your score before that, anywhere between 4 and 5 days. Now, the good thing is though that by the time you finish the exam, you will see. They will tell you your score for 2 of the sections, reading and listening, okay? Because those are scored by computer only. Now, the other 2 sections, writing and speaking, they are scored both by AI and by humans, so that takes a little longer. You should know this before starting your preparation for the TOEFL. There are 2 big exams for English sufficiency. You have on one hand the TOEFL, and on the other hand, you have the IELTS. Most of the schools that will accept the TOEFL will also accept the IELTS. Now, depending on your specific skills, on your strengths and your weaknesses. For some people, it will be easier to prepare for the TOEFL, and for some others, it will be easier to prepare for the IELTS. Don't worry, because we also have a full and complete course for the IELTS. But the important thing is this, we have a video here, a special video that will let you know which exam is better for you. In that video, you will understand the differences between the TOEFL and the IELTS, and you will be able to make the best decision for yourself. So go and watch it. Perfect, now that you know the structure of the TOEFL IBT, we're gonna go with the tips and expert advice. In over 10 years, I have been able to tutor over 1,000 students for the TOEFL IBT. Getting great results, of course. And I will give you the most essential tips for you to optimize your preparation. Tip number 1 is to assess your level, your English level, before you start your preparation, okay? So the optimal preparation is that in which you focus entirely on your weaknesses. For some people, that weakness might be listening. For some others, it might be on writing. So it's very important that you only focus on your weaknesses so the preparation is not redundant. That will also help you to decide if in reality the TOEFL is the best exam for you, or maybe you need to take the IELTS. The second tip is you must, from day one, practice with time limits, okay? This is very important. From day one, you have to get used to the time limits for each question, for each individual question. So that's something very important, because if you don't, of course, if you have unlimited time to solve a question, almost anyone can do it. The big factor in the exam is the time constraint, so just keep that in mind. Now, by the end of your preparation, let's say when you are 3/4 advanced in your preparation, you should start practicing with less time than the official time, okay? That's what I do with my students, because that will force them to become even more efficient. And why is this important? Because that will compensate for the decreased efficiency you will notice on exam day. When you take the real exam, you will be more nervous than usual, okay? So your efficiency, your level will decrease a little bit, but if you practice, if you train yourself to do it under the time limit, you will be okay. Advice number 3, and this one has to do with material, with practice material, okay? Now, the thing is that you need recent material. Something has been published recently. You have to know, though, that the TOEFL has changed twice in the last 5 years. In the last 5 years, there have been 2 changes. So if somehow you get in your hands a book for the TOEFL from 2018, that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. Why? Because the TOEFL has changed twice. There are new question types now. There are some old question types that have been removed. So that book is not going to help you. You need material that is very recent, from after July 2023. Okay? So that's what you need. And then also, you gotta be careful with the quality of the material. Okay, not all material is made the same. And I know a lot of you guys like and want free things, right? Free material, free books, etc. That's fine. But you have to be careful to identify different quality. So for example, a lot of those questions you find for free on the internet, they don't have the adequate quality. So basically, they're either too hard or they're either too easy. So they're not gonna help you, okay? That happens a lot, believe me. So if you value your education enough to make an investment and pay for the official books, that would be a good thing for you. It will depend on how much you really value your education. But here in Liberty, we're gonna help you out with our free ebook with 100 high-quality TOEFL exercises. Just go to the link below, okay, and follow the instructions to get your ebook. And tip number 4 is about the accent. This is something I get asked a lot, okay, from YouTube, new students, from Instagram, TikTok. They all want to know about the accent. Of course, the TOEFL is an American exam. So the accent you will listen to the most in the TOEFL will be American, right? American neutral accent, which basically is, if you watch any Hollywood movie or any series, that's the accent they have, right? It's not Southern, not from the Midwest, but basically from New York. Now, the accent doesn't really matter that much, especially on the speaking section. So let's say if you're an Indian, right? You're speaking like an Indian, but you're speaking well-crafted sentences, right? You're speaking appropriately. They cannot discriminate you on the TOEFL, okay? So the way you speak, your accent will be totally acceptable. You don't have to speak like an American person. You don't have to impersonate an American person. That's very important, okay? So if you say, instead of saying mountain, you say mountain, who cares? That's fine, okay? So don't put too much effort on the accent, on sounding American. Put more effort, and this is more important, on being grammatically correct, on structuring sentences that are complex enough. on being able to speak at a normal pace. Okay, let's say you speak kind of fast, right? If you have a lot of gaps when you're speaking, that's bad. So put more brain power into that rather than the accent. Perfect, so now you know the structure of the TOEFL and you have also listened to some good advice about your TOEFL preparation. You have also subscribed to our channel and clicked on the notification bell to receive our latest information, our latest courses. And you have also given us a like because you like the video. So now we're going to start with the most important part. We're going to talk about each of the 4 sections of the TOEFL exam. And I'm also going to be giving you free access to our complete course for the TOEFL. So let's start with the first section, the reading section. So here I'm about to give you an introduction to the reading section to see the question types and the basics. But here you have the links to the free and complete TOEFL reading lesson. So you can find it also in the description below. So now let's see a brief introduction about the reading section. Okay, so now let's start talking about the reading section. Okay. So the overall duration for the reading section is 36 minutes. And this has changed a lot because last year it used to be 54 minutes. Now it's only 36 because you have less questions. Okay, so that's good because it's shorter, faster, more direct, and to the point. Number of questions is only 20. You get 20 questions divided in 2 passages. So you have 2 full articles, 10 questions each, and you're going to be answering 20 questions in total. As far as the topics are concerned, as far as the level, you should imagine that the TOEFL is directed at people who are starting college. Okay, so the level of the readings is going to be very similar to something you would find on a textbook for a first-year college student. And the topics usually tend to be natural sciences. The TOEFL tends to be much more scientific than the IELTS, okay? So they will tilt more towards the science, for example, biology, botany, business, chemistry, geology, etc., etc. So those are the most common topics. As far as the question types, we're going to be delving more deeply in our complete TOEFL reading lesson. But just to give you a little introduction, these are the question types of factual questions, inferences, inserting questions, summary, paraphrasing, purpose, and matching. Okay, there could be more, but these are the most important. Of course, go to our full, complete TOEFL reading lesson, and you'll see everything you need to know about this section. Also, don't forget to complete all of the exercises from our free ebook. Okay, so you get some practice. Perfect, so that was introduction for the reading section. Don't forget that if you want some additional practice material, you have our free ebook with 100 TOEFL exercises. Just go to the description below and follow the instructions. So now we have the second section for the TOEFL, the listening section. Here we have the links to the full and complete lesson for TOEFL listening. And you can also find it in the description below. And now let's see a brief introduction about the listening section. So a brief introduction for the listening section. The overall duration is 36 minutes. This includes both the time to listen to the audios and also the time to answer the questions. Okay. On the TOEFL, they will first present the audio. So you have the audio, a screen like this. And then after you're finished listening to the audio and taking your notes, they will ask the questions. And of course, you can only listen to the audio one time. The number of questions is 28. So you get 28 questions, different questions. And there are 2 types of audios, basically. You get lectures and conversations. You're going to get 3 lectures and 2 conversations. What is the difference between a lecture and a conversation? That a lecture is more academic. As the name implies, a lecture is part of a class. You are sitting in front of a professor in class, listening to a lecture, and they will talk about academic concepts. While the conversation is between 2 people and you get something a little bit more colloquial because they will be talking about day-to-day problems. So that's the main difference. By far, for most students, lectures are more difficult than the conversations. So you get 3 lectures to conversations. For every single lecture, you are going to get 6 questions, while for the conversations, you get only 5. And also lectures are longer. The duration of the lecture is usually anywhere between 4 and 5 minutes, while the duration of a conversation is anywhere between 2 and 3 minutes. The question types could be several, but most of them are going to be multiple choice. Like most of them. And they are detailed questions. They ask you about something specific from the audio. Inferences, in which they ask you to interpret information that you have listened. Matching questions, attitude questions and function questions. If you want to know more about this, go to our full listening section for the TOEFL here on YouTube and watch the whole video, because you will need the theory necessary to get a high score. Also complete all the exercises from our free ebook. Of course, you already have our ebook. If you don't, then go to the link below in the description and follow the instructions. So that was the introduction for the listening section. If you need more practice material, don't forget to request your free ebook with 100 TOEFL exercises. More information in the description below. So now we have arrived at the most dreaded section for most students, the speaking section. Okay, here is the full lesson for the speaking section. Just go and watch it. But first, here we're gonna go over a brief introduction of the speaking section. Okay, now we're going to talk about the speaking section, the third section of the TOEFL IBT exam. Speaking section is the fastest section. It only takes 16 minutes to complete, but it's also the most intense. So in those 16 minutes, you will be answering 4 questions or 4 tasks, as we call them in the TOEFL. 4 different tasks in which they will ask you to talk, basically. You will have to be answering anywhere from 45 seconds to 60 seconds, which should be enough for an examiner to tell in which level you are. The types of questions are 4. The first task would be an independent task, basically in which you will have to give your opinion. The second, third, and fourth tasks are integrated, which means that basically you don't have to give your opinion, you will have to report and summarize information. The second task is called the campus situation, in which you will have to read an announcement and then listen to a conversation and report on the opinion of one person. The third task is called general specific, in which you will have to basically read an article about a concept and then listen to a part of a lecture in order to report and summarize examples or the details of the audio. And then the last task is the summary, in which you will listen to a lecture and you will have to summarize it. You do get some preparation time. Right after you have been given the question or you have finished listening to the audios, they will give you some time to prepare your notes. But that time is very short, and that's part of why the TOEFL is known, and this section is difficult for most people. For the first independent task, you get 15 seconds to prepare your notes. Only 15. Then for tasks 2 and 3, you get 30 seconds to organize your notes, and for the last task, you only get 20. So if you want to get a good score here, if you want to know what to do and how to organize your time, then go to our complete speaking lesson for the TOEFL and watch it thoroughly. There is a lot of theory behind this. You also get our free ebook, so you can practice some speaking, but the speaking is a little bit different than other parts. Let me tell you that, okay? Than listening or than reading. If you're struggling with speaking, you need somebody to coach you and to be able to correct you, okay? So if you value your education, if you truly want to succeed and get into college and get into your master's program, if you don't take this as a joke, then you need to invest into getting a good coach in order to help you with the speaking section, to tell you what things you're doing incorrect, and give you some customized tips in order for you to improve. If you want to know about the service we provide here at Liberty Test Prep and how we have been able to help thousands of students, then go to the link below here to our website and you can see our tutoring packages. So that was introduction for the speaking section. Don't forget to download your free ebook with 100 TOEFL exercises to get more practice. Just go to the description below and follow the instructions. And the fourth section is the writing section. Okay, there are 2 different lessons for the writing section. The first one is for the first task, which is the integrated writing, and the second one is for the second task, which is the academic discussion. 2 different lessons, so just go and do them in order. Now let's see a brief introduction for the whole writing section. And the last section is the writing section. This is the fourth and last section. The overall duration is 30 minutes, and this has changed a lot since the previous version of the TOEFL, just in 2023, because back in the day before that, it used to be 50 minutes, but now it's only 30, okay? You get 20 minutes for the first essay and 10 minutes for the second essay. And actually, these 30 minutes do not include the time that you have to read the article for the first essay, and also the time for you to listen to the audio for the first essay. So the number of questions is 2. You get 2 questions. First one is the integrated essay, and second is the academic discussion. On the integrated essay, you will first be presented an article, and then you will have 3 minutes to read it, and then you will be given an audio. And in that audio, a professor will be usually criticizing the article. And then you will have to write about, it's an integrated essay because you don't have to write about your opinion. You have to write about the way in which the professor attacks the information given by the article. Okay, so this one is an essay that has a lot of theory behind. I wholeheartedly recommend that you watch completely our full lesson for integrated writing. There's tons and tons of theory behind it. And then the second essay is the newly implemented academic discussion essay. Basically, it's like an online board in which you will have to post a comment in a student forum. So you will need to give your opinion there, but based on an academic concept. That one is more opinion based, and that one's shorter also. It's short, to the point, very sweet actually. Go and watch our full lesson for the academic discussion. Actually, you have 2 videos for writing, right? One for the integrated question and the other one for the academic discussion question. And now the important thing about the academic discussion is that in those 10 minutes, you will need to read the whole question. You will need to read the answer by other students, and then you will also need to write. So everything is included in those 10 minutes. Now, if you want to get some practice, download our ebook. Okay, go to the link below because there we also have some new material, some new questions for the academic discussion. And now, of course, writing is similar to speaking in the sense that basically it's very difficult for a person to be able to improve on their own. So if you truly value your education, you should also get somebody to coach you, to correct you, in order for you to know how to improve. Perfect, that was introduction for the writing section. Now, if you need more practice material, just download our free ebook with 100 TOEFL exercises. More information in the description below. Perfect, so now that you have finished watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you have all the basics of the TOEFL and you can start your preparation in optimal conditions. Now what you have to do is you have to go and watch the videos for each individual lesson. Just make sure you watch every single second of each individual video because I am synthesizing. I'm condensing the information a lot and you don't want to miss any of that information. Okay, that's very important. So after watching this video, the second video you need to watch is the full lesson for TOEFL reading. Then the third video is the lesson for TOEFL listening. Then the fourth one will be the lesson for speaking. The fifth one would be the lesson for integrated writing. And the last one, the lesson for the academic discussion. I'm pretty sure that if you do this in order, you watch every single video and you don't skip around, you will have more than enough to get a good score on the TOEFL. If you need extra help getting those higher scores, 95 or over, Liberty Test Prep can help you out. Just go to our website below to check our tutoring packages. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. My name is Rod, I'm with Liberty, and I wish you very good luck with your TOEFL preparation.